So, hello and welcome to another Raggy's. Well, you can't even call it a beer with Raggy because I'm not drinking, or even a cup of tea because I'm not drinking either. But it's all about Camra and beer festivals. And somebody talked to me yesterday, and he'd already gave me some information, and I've just looked on the drinks business, and again, they're saying the same thing, that Camra has now cancelled its Great British Beer Festival events for 2026. The cost of running the events, the venue hire, all these things come into play. Um, and looking at it, beer festivals, it's going to be interesting, in Nottingham, the Robin Hood Beer Festival, which is coming up in October, and I've got to be honest, there's literally been zero that I've seen on the internet and on Facebook, and I'm on social media a fair bit looking at beer news and beer stuff, and there's been it's been very quiet. One brewery, Castle Rock, they posted about the beer festival. And I posted in the comments, I says, "Oh, what date is it?" And it is October the 8th to the 13th, I think it is anyway. Sadly for us, that comes a week before our holiday. And, the cost to go into a beer festival. So for us, two of us, it's the bus into Nottingham City Centre and then the bus out to the cricket ground. Then the cost of the tickets, depending on what night you go. And I know they've reduced the cost down this year. So it was 26 quid last year, which was bloody ridiculous anyway. And I think if you was an early bird, you could have got it for 15 on Friday and Saturday, which is better. But obviously you got the cost of getting down there, cost of the tickets, food. You're looking at £10 each above for food for just that, and that's just one item of food, obviously. Cost of the tokens, and then at the end of the day, it's the cost of getting home. So you're looking for two people, roughly anything from 150 to 200 quid for a night out, which is can be pricey. Wrong end of town. Obviously, and last year I did notice that the Camra beers, as it were, not the brewery beers. Brewery beers have always been separate, but the Camra beers were much smaller. The stillages, as they call them, were much smaller than I've ever seen. And there was a lot more brewery based last year. A lot of breweries there. It's great to see the breweries. Certainly locals, even Woodfords were there as well, from all the way from Norfolk. Do seem to be getting some East Anglia breweries. We had Ampersand the year before, and then Woodfords last year. I did think, looking at it, that it was turning more into a brewery bar based event over what it always was. Now, I've heard some news just in the last day or two that part of the cricket ground is being redeveloped, and there's a place called the Undercroft, which actually was probably the best place. Some of the best bars were in there, and it was out the wind tunnel as well, because it can be a bloody cold wind tunnel in October. And that whole section now is going to be changed. So for me, I would assume that it's either going to be a smaller event, or like last year, they went on the pitch last year, and actually the tent that was on the pitch was pretty decent, to be fair. It's only on the pitch for a week. I can't imagine that it's going to cause too much hassle to the grass. You're not driving vans over it. Grass does recover, and at that time of the year there's no cricket, so it does make you wonder whether it's going to be a reduced offering, or certainly more, or more on the pitch. But I could already see it last year that it was going to be reduced capacity, and more brewery focused. And like I said, there's been nothing. Whoever the voices are for Camra are not doing a great job in Nottingham, because I'd expect for somebody who follows the beer scene. I don't personally follow Camra, but who follows the beer scene, it's quiet. And I've literally seen only 2 breweries actually mention the beer festival. One's Shipston's and one's Castle Rock, and the other breweries are quite quiet as well. So again, it's curious, and you know, are we at the point where the Robin Hood Beer Festival could be knocked on the head next year? Does make you wonder. I mean, I know there's a lot of organising with beer festivals, lots to pay out that you don't see. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. People's thoughts on this, thoughts on the Great British Beer Festival. I've never been to that, to be honest. I can just about get into Nottingham and walk away without going into hospital. Yeah, well, I did one year. But and then the next year, bloody got on the bus and on the other side of the city. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. For those who go to the beer festival, sadly, I can't see us going unless we have a last minute change of mind. I can't see it. It'd be sad not to go, but when you've got a holiday the week after, it's all about pennies, isn't it? And that. But yeah, so that's my bit of news about beer festivals.